are you?
I'm great. How are you? It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been extremely busy with Fostering Greatness, Inc. and also with the release of my book, I Shall Not Be Moved, My Extraordinary Journey from Trauma to Triumph.
Yes, I've been seeing you watching, we've been working on the show and developing but I've been paying attention to your journey. You're working so hard. Can you show everyone your book? Because the artwork itself is beautiful.
Yes. So actually on the front, it's a lotus flower. And so I talk about the significance of a lotus flower and the strength behind it and how it can grow in the dirtiest and the murkiest of water and still flourish and still be beautiful and still be a pillar of strength.
Yeah, and your book is about your journey as a foster care alumni and going through this system. But tell everyone about Fostering Greatness, because that's kind of what started this idea to grow on, right?
Absolutely. If anyone had asked me 20 years ago, would I be doing the work that I'm doing today? I would say absolutely not. I went to school to become a news anchor. And I started advocacy work when I gained custody of my younger siblings who were within the foster care system. And so that's where Fostering Greatness started, where a lot of other youth would come to me just asking questions, needing guidance with different things. So I said, okay, so I'm going to do some programmatic things. But when COVID happened and the pandemic occurred, there were so many young people who were homeless and without just the fundamental tools that they needed in order to just strive instead of survive. So I revamped everything with Fostering Greatness, Inc. And right now we're focusing on obtaining a building and some scattered sites for housing for them, things specifically for them, because a lot of programs, foster care youth are in the gray area.
Yeah.
So we want something for them that they know they can come to a specific building or a specific program and specific people who know how to assist them.
Yeah, I mean, we all felt when the pandemic happened alone, right? We were
Yes.
stuck at home. Can you imagine not having those building blocks to even somebody to call?
Right.
So I can imagine how even more important your program was during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually when we connected and we had you on Facebook and
Yes.
we got to meet.
Yes.
So with the book, how have things been since your last appearance? You've been quite busy.
Yes, so I'm actually focusing on the nonprofit Fostering Greatness, Inc. full time.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank
That's
you.
exciting.
It has really been a journey, so a good one. I was picked up by Black Authors Matter, so I'm on a tour right now for my book. And my book focuses on not only my experience of going through the foster care system, but also my relationship with my mother when she was in active addiction. And, she had mental health. She was schizophrenic. So just my thoughts and feelings about that, and just how I loved her, beyond what the situation was, and talking about forgiveness. So we also have journaling in here, a 21-day challenge, and some different songs that gave me strength along the way. But it's just really about my journey and how I arrived where I am today.
Absolutely. And we've spoken in depth about your journey. It's certainly inspiring. And we share a lot of trials.
Yes.
Similar trials, and it's the way we connect.
Yes.
I think this book's helped people see that we're more similar than we think, right?
Yes.
And the only way through these trials to move is to move.
Yes.
And to do those steps, right?
Yes, and to acknowledge the process. A lot of times people look at the finish line, but don't really appreciate or talk about the in-between and the process and the things that they've learned. So in this book, I talk about the lessons and the blessings. So just going through. So even if I had to go through something 3 times, what did I learn from that? And then the blessings. A lot of times I would focus on the fact that I didn't have my mother and father in the capacity that I felt that I should have had them. But then I also looked and focused on the mentors and people who stood in the gap for me when my parents were not able to.
I think it's important to take the time to step back and see it all for what it was,
Yes.
and to know you're not alone, right?
Right.
So talking about not being alone, you've taken this step and you've started with Duncan Kirkwood, the Unleash Your Greatness.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. So actually, Duncan went on his own, process of what he wanted to do next in life. And we were focusing on resilience. He went through the service, and he talked about what he was able to teach. And at the time, I was focusing on resilience within my dissertation process. And he came up with the things for his book. And then we talked about young people and just how resilient a lot of them are without even knowing it. And so he wanted to provide like an atmosphere for them to just focus on themselves. So he started out with the young men. We supported that. So now it's time for the young ladies, and we're doing that this summer. And so I've been very vital in assisting with that from this point. So I'm really looking forward to working with Duncan, and he's done some phenomenal work. He has the energy that young people love.
Yeah.
So, I think this is something great, and I think this is something that Western New York needs for the young people in general.
Absolutely. We'll do what we can to support Duncan and you. I'm huge supporters of what you guys do.
Thank you.
Now, are you a doctor now? Is that what's happening?
So I am almost finished. I am claiming it. I am in the process of finishing up my dissertation at the moment, and I'm focusing on African American women who have grown up in the foster care system who identify as transformational leaders. So writing everything now, and went past one level, and now I'm to the last level. So hopefully in May, we'll be able to call me doctor.
Well, no worries. So real quick before we wrap up our show today, how can Buffalo help you in your mission?
Yes, so the first thing is just becoming aware of the foster care population. This is a population that's often forgotten, underserved, and just really put to the side. So awareness, really focusing on the needs of the youth and young adults and alumni, providing opportunities, internships, opportunities to learn different things. Donate. You can donate your time, talent, or treasure, meaning that if you have the time to mentor, if you have the funding to assist us with getting things for these young people, which is the basic necessities or things to assist with their rent, or to assist us with getting a building. If you have a building you want to donate, please contact me. And really just however you can show up. If you want to become a foster parent, I can help with that information too. So,
just take the step.
Yes.
And if you have the connections or maybe resources or information,
yes,
you're there. You want to know.
Yes. And you can contact me on all social media handles, Leah Angel-Daniel, or at Fostering Greatness Inc. That's INC, and even on our website, fosteringreatnessinc.org.
Well, perfect. Again, thank you so much for coming on the show, Leah. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Jordan, and thank you for all the great work that you do.
You're welcome. We couldn't let you leave empty-handed, of course. Our friends over at Double Eagle Embroidery wanted to gift you this Mills Mafia fleece as a small token of all that you do.
Thank you so much. I love it. Let's go Buffalo.
When we return, it's time for Jordan's Good News. Make sure to follow us on all of the latest social media: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.